for joining me for another exciting edition of Nat Speaks. And today I'll be speaking on respecting access. But before I go on, may I quickly remind you to subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification if you haven't done so already, so that you can be alerted when I post a new video. So what is access? Access is the permission that is granted you to interact with a person or a place. That permission is granted by a gatekeeper. That gatekeeper could be the person you need to interact with or somebody who knows them. Quite often we need access to facilitate relationships because all human relationships actually depend on access. If I don't give access to you, you cannot relate with me. The challenge oftentimes is that people tend to abuse the access that they have been granted. And my focus in this edition is to take you through a few steps you need to pay attention to, a few things you need to pay attention to so that you don't abuse access and then lose the privileges that come with that access. So the first thing you need to do is to note that you don't abuse the access. You abuse the access when you take it for granted. How do you take the access you have for granted? By becoming too familiar with the person. Either you begin to call them names they did not permit you to call them, you give them titles they did not permit you to give to them, you go to their homes when they have not invited you to come to their homes, or even if they have given you access to their homes, you go along with people that they have not permitted you to take along with you. And that's one area where, especially for those of us in Africa, Nigeria particularly, we tend to miss it, we tend to get it wrong. That I have invited you to my home does not mean that you can now invite other people without clearing with me. And so I'm expecting you to come to my home, and then I see 5, 6 of you come. You all turn up, and then you begin to introduce these people to me right there. That is not right. You're abusing access. You abuse access when you take my resources for granted, either by taking my resources without my permission or by using them in ways I have not permitted you or authorized you to do. I give an example. You ask to use my car to go to maybe the beach and come back, and I give the car to you, and then you go to the beach and then decide to go out of town the next day, and you don't return the car on schedule, and you go to places that were not part of the places you told me you were going to be going to. You have abused the access you have to my resources. So it hurts the relationship when you do that. And then you also abuse my time, which is a resource that I have, when you come uninvited, or you impose yourself on me, or you overstay your welcome when you do come to me. That is another way you abuse the access you have. Third, you abuse access when you go to the people I have introduced you to without letting me know you are relating with them. I introduce you to my friend, I maybe even take you to their home, and the next thing I know, you are going behind my back to visit them. You can start a relationship with this person. I want you to understand that. But you see, you need to let me know that, this friend you introduced me to has invited me over to their place. I thought you should know. And then I can say, so when I see you there, I'm not taken aback, I'm not surprised. I don't think you're sneaking behind my back to relate with the people that I have introduced you to. And worse, when you begin to ask them for things. I introduce you to an associate of mine, a friend of mine who maybe is wealthy, and then you go behind my back to ask them for money, or to ask them for a job or something. You're abusing the access that I granted you, because you see, this person already contends with a lot of pressure by virtue of the position that he or she occupies in the society. People are asking them for money, people are asking them for jobs and all that. The least I can do to help them preserve their sanity is to keep that pressure off them. So when I introduce you to them, and then you go behind me to shove a CV into their hands or to ask them for money, what they're running away from, I'm bringing right into their homes, and that is not right. I'm abusing the access that I have, and you are abusing the access that you have. And it's worse when your lack of respect for access damages the access that I have to somebody else. Well, these are some of the ways that you can respect access and the things that you need to pay attention to. Please make the most of the access you have, because the access you have could actually be the door to the next big thing in your life. Thank you for staying with me on this edition of Nath Speaks. I look forward to interacting with you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.